Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk about English intonation patterns. Now, intonation is the melody of the language, when the language goes up and when it goes down, and many languages have complex intonation patterns. I actually think that English's intonation patterns are kind of easy. They're not too bad. Really, we only have two main end of sentence intonation patterns, and that is to go up or to go down. So for example, if I'm speaking, I will say, "Hi everyone. I'm excited to speak to you today about intonation." And you can hear sometimes my voice is going up and sometimes my voice is going down. And today I'd like to talk about when do we go up and when do we go down. So we have these two types of intonation. We want to think about when will our voice go up and when will our voice go down. Now, normally it happens at the end, like, "Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about intonation." And you can hear groups of words, and I'm going up or I'm going down at the ends of groups of words. Now, let's talk a little bit about when we go up and when we go down. For example, if somebody asks you a question like, "Are you ready?" and you say, "Yes," and your intonation is going up, "Yes," they might think that you aren't ready or you don't know if you're ready. But if they say, "Are you ready?" and you say, "Yes," and your intonation goes down, you're showing that you are ready. And that's something that we use intonation for, to show that we know something, that we're sure about it, and that we are confident about it. For example, if somebody says to you, "How are you doing?" and you say, "I'm okay," it sounds like you're not really sure. Are you okay? Are you not okay? If you say, "I'm okay," then it sounds like you know. Now, sometimes you hear this in a classroom because a teacher will ask a question and say to everybody, "Does anyone know the answer?" And somebody will raise their hand and they'll say, "I think the answer is 2." And they sound like maybe they don't know the answer. Maybe they are unsure. What they want to do is say, "I know the answer," down. "The answer is 2," and down. And in this way, they show that they're confident in their answer. So that's the first time that we use intonation, to show first that we are sure. We use our downward intonation. Of course, if we are not sure, it's helpful to go up. "I think so. I guess so." That rising intonation can show that we are unsure. Okay, the second type of intonation we use is to show when we are finished. For example, if we are still talking and we want to speak more, we can go up to show that more is coming. "I'm going to go home, and I'm going to do my homework, and I'm going to study, and I'm going to go to bed." And you heard my intonation. I'm going to go home, I'm going to do my homework, I'm going to study, and I'm going to go to bed. And when I went down was when I was finished. I went up, up, I'm still talking, I've still got more to say, and then I went down when I was finished. So that's the second time that we use intonation. To show that we are finished, we'll move our intonation down. When we're not finished, we want to keep talking, we'll move our intonation up. There's one more type of intonation. That intonation is on questions. This is what people usually think about when they think about intonation. They think about, oh, for a question, you'll go up. And that is true, but not a complete story. For example, listen to this question. "Do you want to come over?" Okay, I went up. "Do you want to come over?" So yeah, that question was using rising intonation. But what about this question? "When do you want to come over?" Okay, that one, my voice moved down. "When do you want to come over?" So we don't always use rising intonation on questions. It actually depends on the type of question, and it depends a little bit on your accent and your dialect, because in British English, the intonation is a little bit different. So we're talking about English in California, in the United States, specifically. Mostly, we'll use rising intonation going up for questions like, are you tired? Are you sick? Can you come over? All of these questions are called yes-no questions, where the answer is yes or the answer is no. But the other type of questions that we use in English typically will have a falling intonation. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? When are you available? Why can't you come over? These are all questions that start with when, why, how. These are called WH questions, and their intonation goes down. What are you doing? When are you available? And you can hear the intonation going down and down and down. So you can see that we have intonation going up or going down. When we want to show we are sure, we go down. I am confident. I know this. I'm finished. Also, for our WH questions, we go down. Why are you late? And we go down. We go up when we are unsure, unfinished, or asking yes/no question. Are you okay? The answer is 3. He's sick? We're not sure. We're not finished. We're asking yes/no question. And those are the main uses of intonation in English. Thank you for joining me today to think about intonation.